Breaking news. Putin celebrates the Soviet Union, but freedom is highly valued in Ukraine. Odessa's cultural center was where I was 4 months before Russia invaded Ukraine. My Ukrainian coworker saw some gangly soldiers standing on the corner, and she expressed concern for the future of the country if the government sent warriors dressed like that into battle. We failed to account for their determination and bravery. Russians underestimated their resolve, but so did the rest of the Western world. If Ukraine is provided with adequate resources, including funding, it can win this conflict. Russia's invasion of Ukraine is, without a doubt, illegal. The West must aid in the destruction of Russian military assets and in countering Russian claims that Ukraine is an integral part of Russia. Bill Browder, the founder of Hermitage Capital Management and once Russia's largest portfolio investor, has predicted massive upheaval in the country if Russia is defeated in Ukraine. As a result, it could likely precipitate the fall of Vladimir Putin, who has ruled Russia for 23 years. It's not entirely obvious that the public has ever backed him. He rules with fear and force. In 2005, after Browder exposed government corruption in Russia, he was expelled from the country. Then they issued international arrest warrants and chased me around the globe. Ironically, Putin now faces the same problems. An arrest warrant has been issued for him by the International Criminal Court on charges of unlawful deportation of children. Putin is a seasoned political figure. He was a KGB agent before succeeding Boris Yeltsin as president in May 2000. At the time, many people around the world hoped that Putin would follow in Yeltsin's democratic footsteps. World leaders, meanwhile, had no idea he would eventually resemble Joseph Stalin. Putin extols the Soviet Union as a utopia. The news of its destruction has devastated him. But he has a serious case of hubris, thinking that only he can bring back this ancient dinosaur. The Kuyalnik Resort, outside of Odessa, is a symbol of the destruction. It was once a Soviet retreat, but now it looks like the Titanic after it has sunk. The average Russian makes about $15,000 a year while Putin and the Russian oligarchs enjoy lavish lifestyles. The urban cores may be beautiful, but the rural areas lack adequate educational opportunities and medical facilities. You must persuade the general public that your culture is unique and in danger. Professor of philosophy at Yale University and Babel interviewee Jason Stanley warned that, then emotions will take over. Future uncertainty and a sluggish economy will prove beneficial. Nothing else will matter to you except your nationality. There is nothing left for poor Russians to live for except the pride of being Russian, and they are willing to die for it. However, only extreme nationalists in Russia back the current conflict. Many Russian conscripts feel demoralized and lack the drive to fight. Russian President Vladimir Putin believes his military can easily defeat Ukraine's armed forces because the West lacks the strength to sustain an extended conflict. The plan is to overthrow its legitimately elected government and replace it with one more sympathetic to Russia. But Putin is wrong to think that diversity and free thought undermine democratic government. Like the rest of the former Soviet bloc, Ukraine will never give up. Putin, facing resistance from Ukrainians, will therefore accept maintaining control over occupied territory in eastern Ukraine. To them, success means Russia giving up and going home. However, they can't win without cutting-edge weaponry, especially fighter planes. Ukraine has received 70 American-made planes thanks to the good fortune of Denmark, Norway, and the Netherlands. In addition, the United States has given Ukraine $75 billion in military and humanitarian aid, which is a small percentage of the country's GDP. Ukraine's neighbors give more on a per-person basis. The most important thing is dedication to the goal, which is to preserve Ukraine's independence and prove to Russia that it will never prevail. The Cold War ended in 1989 when the Berlin Wall came down. Ukraine's struggle for independence has given it superhuman fortitude, enabling it to do remarkable things.